Rain tapped gently on the glass dome of the Orium estate, a mansion so vast, it could swallow the night whole. Inside, chandeliers shimmered like captured stars, and guests in diamonds whispered behind crystal flutes of champagne. It was the wedding of the year, not for love, but for legacy. Arabella Thorne stood by the tall mirror, her reflection wrapped in silk and sorrow. She was breathtaking, yes, a beauty sculpted from fragility, but her heart was elsewhere. She was the bride no one chose. This marriage was a deal, an alliance between two powerful families, Thorne and Vassallo. Arabella was to wed Adrian Vassallo, heir to an empire built on steel and shadows. But everyone knew the truth, Adrian didn't love her. He loved someone else. And yet, she stood here, pretending. Pretending not to feel like a pawn. Pretending not to tremble. When the heavy oak doors opened, a hush fell. The Vassallos arrived, sleek, powerful, and intimidating. But it wasn't Adrian who stole the breath from the room. It was her. A woman in a tailored black suit, diamond pin glinting under the lights, eyes the color of midnight storms. She moved with a quiet authority that demanded attention. Arabella's pulse stuttered. "Miss Evelyn Vassallo," someone whispered. Adrian's elder sister. The real power behind the family fortune. Evelyn's gaze found Arabella's across the room, sharp, lingering, curious. It wasn't the polite interest of a guest, it was something else. Something electric. The world around Arabella dimmed. The music faded, the whispers vanished. For one suspended moment, it was just that gaze, steady, knowing, impossible to look away from. And in that instant, Arabella felt the strangest ache in her chest. It wasn't love, not yet. But it was the beginning of something she couldn't name. The ceremony ended before it began. Adrian never showed up. A scandal of silence swept through the ballroom as the truth surfaced: the groom had run away. Arabella's humiliation was complete. Guests whispered, cameras flashed, and the Thorne family's reputation trembled on the edge of ruin. That's when Evelyn stepped forward. Calm. Controlled. Dangerous in her grace. "My brother is a fool," she said, her voice low but commanding. "He doesn't deserve her." The room fell into stunned quiet. Evelyn turned to Arabella, her expression unreadable. "But I won't let this humiliation destroy either of our families. Miss Thorne, marry me instead." Gasps. Flashbulbs. Chaos. Arabella froze. "What?" Evelyn's eyes softened, though her tone stayed cool. "It's a contract marriage. On paper. For appearance. 6 months, then we dissolve it. You keep your dignity, and I handle the fallout." Arabella stared at her. "You'd marry me? Out of pity?" Evelyn tilted her head, a ghost of a smile curving her lips. "Not pity. Pragmatism. And maybe, curiosity." Despite the absurdity, something inside Arabella whispered yes. Hours later, under a different sky, they stood before a quiet registrar. No cameras. No flowers. Just two women bound by ink and impulse. When Evelyn slipped the ring onto Arabella's trembling hand, her fingers brushed hers, warm, deliberate, lingering. It wasn't passion. Not yet. But it was enough to send shivers racing through Arabella's spine. The Vassallo estate was unlike anything Arabella had ever seen. Marble staircases curved like ribbons, chandeliers spilled gold light, and the air smelled faintly of cedar and rain. But beneath the grandeur, the silence was haunting, as if the walls themselves kept secrets. Arabella moved like a ghost through the halls. Her marriage was a contract, polite dinners, staged public outings, shared press appearances. Evelyn kept everything controlled, measured. She was a woman of power, not affection. Yet, Arabella couldn't stop watching her. The way Evelyn read the morning papers by the window, black coffee in hand. The way she loosened her tie after long meetings, revealing the smallest sigh of exhaustion. There were moments, fleeting but real, when the billionaire's armor cracked, and a gentler woman flickered beneath. One evening, during a charity gala, Arabella found herself cornered by a journalist. "How does it feel to marry a woman everyone fears?" the man sneered. Evelyn appeared out of nowhere, sliding an arm around Arabella's waist with such natural ease that Arabella nearly forgot to breathe. "She doesn't fear me," Evelyn said softly, eyes fixed on the man. "She knows me." When the reporter slunk away, Evelyn's hand lingered a second too long. "You okay?" she asked, her tone uncharacteristically gentle. Arabella nodded, but her heart was anything but steady. Later that night, she found herself outside Evelyn's study door, unsure why she'd come. Inside, Evelyn sat in low light, sleeves rolled, her focus deep in financial reports. "You don't have to keep saving me," Arabella said quietly. Evelyn looked up, really looked at her. "Who said I was saving you, Arabella?" Her name sounded different on Evelyn's lips. Like a secret. That night, Arabella dreamed of hands that never touched her, eyes that never looked away. Days turned into weeks, and their fragile routine began to change. Arabella started to see pieces of Evelyn no one else did, her dry humor, her meticulous kindness, her rare, almost shy smile. They began sharing breakfast. Then late-night walks in the rose garden. Conversations that slipped from business to childhood memories. "I used to build treehouses," Evelyn admitted one night, her voice softer than the wind. "I wanted a place that no one could reach. Even now. I still build walls, I guess." Arabella smiled. "Maybe you just need someone to knock on the door instead of climbing over." Evelyn's eyes met hers, and for a heartbeat, the world stilled. "And would you?" she asked. Arabella's breath hitched. "I might," she whispered. The distance between them dissolved, slow and inevitable. Evelyn reached up, brushing a strand of hair from Arabella's cheek. Her touch was careful, reverent, as if afraid the moment might break. But it didn't. It deepened. The first kiss was hesitant, tasting of fear and longing. The second was sure, a quiet surrender neither of them saw coming. Afterward, they sat in silence, the night heavy with unspoken things. "This wasn't part of the contract," Arabella murmured. Evelyn gave a faint smile. "Neither was you changing everything." Months later, the scandal was old news. Evelyn had rebuilt her empire, smaller, steadier, cleaner. She and Arabella had vanished from headlines, but their story had become something better, a life. They lived in the coastal villa now, far from the city's chaos. Evelyn worked from a sunlit study, while Arabella painted in the garden, laughter echoing between marble columns and sea breeze. One evening, as the sun melted into gold over the ocean, Arabella found Evelyn watching her, that same look from their first meeting, but softer now, unguarded. "What?" Arabella teased, smiling. Evelyn stepped closer. "Do you know," she said quietly, "the moment you looked at me that night, I thought I was rescuing you." She paused, tracing her fingers along Arabella's jaw. "But you were the one who rescued me." Arabella leaned in, heart swelling with something fierce and beautiful. "And to think," she whispered, "I was the bride no one chose." Evelyn smiled, eyes shining. Then I must be the luckiest woman alive, because I did. As the waves crashed below and stars began to bloom above, they kissed again, not out of fear or confusion, but out of certainty. Two women who found love not in perfection, but in truth. And for the first time, the world finally felt right. Months later, the scandal was old news. Evelyn had rebuilt her empire, smaller, steadier, cleaner. She and Arabella had vanished from headlines, but their story had become something better, a life. They lived in the coastal villa now, far from the city's chaos. Evelyn worked from a sunlit study, while Arabella painted in the garden, laughter echoing between marble columns and sea breeze. One evening, as the sun melted into gold over the ocean, Arabella found Evelyn watching her, that same look from their first meeting, but softer now, unguarded. "What?" Arabella teased, smiling. Evelyn stepped closer. "Do you know," she said quietly, "the moment you looked at me that night, I thought I was rescuing you." She paused, tracing her fingers along Arabella's jaw. "But you were the one who rescued me." Arabella leaned in, heart swelling with something fierce and beautiful. "And to think," she whispered, "I was the bride no one chose." Evelyn smiled, eyes shining. "Then I must be the luckiest woman alive, because I did." As the waves crashed below and stars began to bloom above, they kissed again, not out of fear or confusion, but out of certainty. Two women who found love not in perfection, but in truth. And for the first time, the world finally felt right.